Hello, National University. This is Robert Perry. I'm going to be your instructor for this Political Science 201 class, September 2022. Keep in mind, we do have a meeting, a class meeting. Our class meeting is scheduled at the Spectrum campus in Claremont for August 31st at 5:30. What we'll do for that day is I'll show you in a minute, but we're primarily going to go over Chapter 2 in Direct Democracy when we meet in person. So I'm going to go ahead and go over the syllabus, and then I will show you some things on the modules so you can kind of understand how I had the class laid out. So just really basic stuff. Here's my phone number if you ever need to get in touch with me right away, and my email address. One quick thing is if you call me, I probably won't answer because I don't like answering numbers that I don't recognize, and I already have an insurance for my car. Mechanical breakdown insurance. So I'm probably not going to answer you. So the best thing would be to text me, and if you want to speak to me, text me. Then tell me you're going to call me. So generally we can really get things solved by either email or text. But if you call, I might not pick up. So that's kind of how I am. I'm pretty sure that's how a lot of you are as well. Just a little bit about our class. We're going to talk about the development of our American government. Going to apply theories. We're primarily going to work off two theories: elitism and pluralism, and we're going to kind of look at the two contrasting views. We're also going to look at media. We're talking a lot about voting, political parties, interest groups, the courts, civil liberties and civil rights, and public policy. And we're also going to study a little bit of the Constitution as well as foreign policies. So here are our course learning outcomes. We're going to talk about the development of the Constitution and its role in American politics. We're going to do that in person at our meeting. We're going to look at political events and see how they have shaped the political system that we have here. We're also going to talk about and analyze, political behavior within the context of political parties, the Republicans and the Democrats, and also we'll look at the Libertarian Party. We'll talk about the influence that interest groups have, especially monetarily, and also the influence of media, whether it's television media, social media, or all of the forms that we know about now. And we're going to look at economic and political forces that kind of guide the way U.S. policy is generated. So here's the book. Your best bet would probably be to get a electronic copy. Something affordable. I think Amazon has it. And to be honest with you, the edition doesn't really matter. It has all the same context. You might have some outdated stats, but I've updated the PowerPoints that we're going to be using to reflect more current statistics. So, usually try as much as you can to cut costs on these. I know textbooks can be expensive, but I've kind of tried to make it affordable by using these textbooks. Here are due dates. We're going to have our weekly discussion assignments. They're going to be due on Wednesdays and on Saturdays. And then we're going to have a midterm exam, a final exam. Roughly, midterm will be halfway through the class. Final exam will be at the end. And we're going to have a Supreme Court research paper that I'm going to assign to you, and that's going to be due at the end of the semester. So a little bit about our discussion questions. Each week, we're going to go over a certain topic, and you'll have discussion questions to respond to that. I'm going to want you to answer the discussion questions, and I'm also going to, for full credit, I'm going to also want you to respond to each to a classmate, to at least two classmates, all right, and give substantial feedback and some of the things that come out of it and what you think. We're also going to have, don't worry about this part. I kind of found out we're not going to do that. So don't worry about we'll meet on 3 Mondays and 2 Saturdays. I was mistaken. When I originally assigned this class, we're only going to meet on 1 Wednesday, and that is August 31st. The rest of our sessions are going to be delivered asynchronously. We're going to have 2 exams. Each exam will be worth 25 points. They will have 50 questions each, and each question will be worth half a point, and you will have 2 hours to complete. We also have a Supreme Court project that I'm going to assign to you. So I want you to pick a Supreme Court case, and please make sure it is a Supreme Court case. Give me a brief historical background about the case, the constitutional question, what part of the Constitution is being argued, what was the ultimate decision in the case, and a description of the opinions in the case and also how you feel about the case. So I've given you some examples of different topics that you can use. You're not limited to these, but these are definitely a guideline, guidance of cases that you can use. Um, so, like I said, make sure it's a Supreme Court case. If there isn't a case that is listed up here that is the Supreme Court case, you can definitely use that. So this is going to be a 5-page paper in length at minimum, not including your works cited or your cover page, and you'll need to answer the questions above and then turn it into me on Brightspace. Another thing that you can do is you can do a 5 to 10 minute video presentation answering these same questions, a presentation with a voiceover, and also remember, using citations within the presentation to give credit to the resources that you used. And here are some things that can help you. We have the Purdue Writing Lab. For citations, we have the APA's website that can help you cite, and OIES and Justia are two databases that have Supreme Court cases. You also have the Supreme Court blog, which is a culmination of Supreme Court cases that were heard. Well, one thing about these Supreme Court cases is they're not videotaped, but they are recorded audioly. So there might be some cases you can find and you can hear the audio and the arguments to each case. I don't expect you to really do that. Just looking up and doing a synopsis of what the case is would be fine with me. But these are resources that you can use. So kind of here's our schedule. Our week 1 starts on August 29th, so coming up soon. We're going to introduce the course. We're going to talk about what the argument of democracy is, chapter 1 and 2, and the evolution of elites and direct democracy as the second portion of the week. So like I said, when we meet, we're going to talk about chapters 2 and direct democracy, and I'm going to have you all do chapter 1 and chapter 3 on your own. Then we're going to talk about elections. Then we're going to talk about masses. Then we're going to talk about the media. And these are all going to be done asynchronously. And I'll show you where to get the videos in a minute. Then we're going to talk about interest groups. Then we're going to talk about the executive branch and the legislative branch. Then we're going to courts and federalism. Then we're going to talk about bureaucracies, civil rights, and then foreign policy. And that's kind of where we're headed in class. So, just familiar yourself with the guidelines and we should be okay. So let's go ahead and look at this. So here is our course shell. The one way I have each week set up, and there might be some weeks that don't have videos yet. I'm still working on them, but here are our readings. Here are our lectures, and then our discussions. So if you look at the lecture link here, you're going to see here's chapter 1. Here's the video I put together. There's going to be a part of Black Panther in there, so look forward to that. I'm making a point out of it. Then we have chapter 2 and chapter 3. Chapter 2 is here, but we'll do that in class. If you need to review, it'll be available. Chapter 3, we're not going to use for the exam. Just review it. There's really no content that I think is, kind of really necessary to put in an exam. But we're going to focus on direct democracy, and here's a video on that, but we'll also talk about this in class. So the videos are going to be there for your review. If you go to the next week, let's look at the next week. Here's week 2, and if you go to lecture, you can see these are the things that we're talking about. Here are the PowerPoints. Here are the lecture videos right here. Chapter 6 is a big one. We're going to talk about parties and elections. So these are here for you to look at and to use to get ready for the exam, which will be right here. The exam will be due on September 10th by 11:59. You'll need to answer 50 questions. I'll provide a study guide to help you out. I just need to put that together, and I will post that in the announcement section once I get it completed. Chapter 3 and 4, kind of the same thing. Here at chapter 4, we have the lecture, and then I think this is one of the ones that I'm missing a video for, and it may be civil rights. Yeah, civil rights. I still have to put that together. There's something that I'm going to try to approach different ways, so that'll definitely be up there prior to week 4, but I'm just kind of trying to get my thoughts together on that. And here is, we have our assignment. This is Supreme Court project, and this is the final exam, which is due on the 24th. So, it's pretty straightforward. And like I said, remember, please, carve away an appointment date for us on August 31st at the Spectrum campus. We will be meeting from 5:30 to 10. I don't anticipate it going all the way till 10, but will definitely make myself available till then, and can answer any questions you need. And I think, us going over the Constitution and direct democracy will be really helpful, because it's probably something that affects all of us. And there's a segment of direct democracy that will really affect us, especially if you are all homeowners, and we'll talk about that. Okay, so I'm looking forward to this class. You can call me Robert. I'm not hung up on names. We'll do an introduction. But for the first day, for that Monday, make sure you watch Chapter 1 video, and then we'll go from there. All right, thanks a lot.